Hey everybody, we're live with the Rooster Booster Week 4 Quick Tap Recap. We're going to be doing this weekly. Just going over like a 5-minute recap of the match from the previous week before we have a regular live show on Thursday. This week was an exciting week. Rudy went into Houston, into Aviva Stadium, first time in that complex, to take on the Houston SaberCats, who've been kind of climbing up the charts as far as how well they've been playing. And as we see by the result, obviously Houston, definitely a team to be reckoned with in the future. So as you all know, we won 31-23 on some heroics by Mikey Brown, but we'll get into that. We pushed the pace early on. The match was kind of like our week 1 match against New England in Vegas, where there was a heavy wind. And at this point, Rooney had the wind with them in the first half, and that showed through their kicking the touch for penalties and then scoring. So the first score comes off a kick to touch. We get the line out. Butcher dots it through a maul. Kind of the same thing we've done so often. Marshy slots it. The next one was a little nifty handiwork. I believe it went. Who the heck was it? It was Marshy. No, it was. I forgot who started the sequence, but it ended up being Bastro. Maybe it was Bastro to Marshy to Matina. Matina goes in with a nifty little run to score. Then the third one was another kind of bomber. We get the ball down to inside that 5-meter line. Pick and go. Patty Ryan muscles it over with a bounce, dots it, and now we're hitting halftime. And halftime we have a comfortable lead. 21-3, I believe the lead was. And now the wind switches. Second half, Rooney kind of came out flat, which is something that has been plaguing them this whole season. And then the penalties start to accumulate. And at the end of the match, it was like the penalties were like 20-5 against. And Rooney was very lucky they didn't receive a yellow card for accumulation of penalties, especially inside the 5-meter line. But I think what the referee was looking at was it was never consistently the same penalty. It really was, run would be rolling away. They'd pick, they'd go, they'd do something. They'd kind of fake that pickup, draw us off sides, another advantage, things like that. So while it was an accumulation of penalties over time, it certainly wasn't the same penalty. And I think the timing and the phases, the time in between the phases of each penalty is what why the referee kept the card in his pocket. We have Marshy eventually converts a penalty, but now Houston are on the attack. They're using their wind advantage superbly through all those penalties. Like I said, they get down there, they start scoring tries. Finally, the last couple minutes, Rooney really they got the ball back. They had to hold it for about 2 minutes. And I think right before that, Butcher made the mistake in trying to do that little chip kick, almost like he did last week. And while I see what was going on, what he was trying to do, we did lose possession. Luckily, we came back with it because had we not, we were really going to have a problem. Excuse me. And Houston scores. We re-kick. We held them up in a maul. We get the ball back. Now we're kind of within striking distance. We get the penalty. We kick for touch. We throw in on the line out. We try and get a maul. Houston jackals that ball out of the maul, and all of a sudden, 2 minutes left. Houston, who we thought, at this point is down by 1 point. The score is 24-23. Has a real chance to go down and score, especially with the accumulation of penalties that Rooney was putting up there. In the last 3 minutes, Rooney, I don't think, had one penalty. They continue to move forward. They continue to have a staunchly good defense. Now, the SaberCats having the advantage of the win in the second half kind of put so much pressure on Rooney. Eventually, they were going to score, right? So I don't think the defense played a lot better than it had been. And I think just the position in which the ball was being placed because of the wind being in their face, kind of led to this Houston comeback. Anyway, Houston has the ball with about 30 seconds left. They can come down, and all they really need to do is go down, get a penalty, kick it, and win it to death. And all of a sudden, they're starting to scramble and try and get it out wide on Rooney, which had worked at the beginning of the match. And Mikey Brown, out of nowhere, snags the ball as it's coming out to the back line, effectively giving Rooney back possession with 30 seconds left. Marcus Walsh picks it up, does a little dummy, cuts inside, finds a lane, dots down that final try. Marshy slots it, and that gets you your final score. It was a good win. It was a scrappy win. I was glad to see the defense do their thing, and really they held the line when they needed to. Our offense was a little stymied in the second half, but again, that was due to mostly the wind, the weather, and the possession that Houston held. Houston is a possession-oriented team, and it shows. When they have the ball, they will pick and go. They will get it out wide. They rarely kick it to gain meters unless it's on the penalty, so they don't like to give the ball away. Anyway, so that comes up to the Rooster Booster Man of the match. It was a consensus. Hanko pushed the pace the entire time. He had that one long breakaway off a loose ball that popped right into his hands, and he almost took it to the house. I mean, big man has wheels. It was ridiculously good, and then he gets the ball off on an offload, and unfortunately, Mikey Petrie knocks it on. But Hanko kept pushing and pushing and pushing and getting those meters. And that was something that Roosters had the first couple of matches with Kyle Sumption. And with Kyle Sumption not being available this week, Hanko really put it out there. What else do we have? We also had Nate Brakely again, I think, put in a full shift of 80 minutes. The guy's a goddamn madman. Just bear with me because I had some notes here, and obviously I don't prepare as much as I should. Let's see. So Hanko was man of the match. Fawcett, still outstanding from the line out. I think he had one bad throw, and that means he's had one bad throw in 4 matches. Marshy, definitely honorable mention. He was perfect with the boot. He's kicking solid. And big shout out to Ben Foden tackling with his face, because that's how we teach the kids to tackle nowadays. This heads up thing that the Seahawks are doing isn't really a rugby tackle. You have to use your face and your big head to make first contact. So I'm glad Ben Foden got that. Anyway, guys, that's your Rooster Booster Week 4 quick tap recap with the big guy. I'm going to see you guys on Thursday. We're going to have Sammy and Mikey back with us, and I'm also going to try and have an actual Rooster on the show with us. Thanks for watching.